Welcome to the Peaceful Woodturner. A while back I found some wood by the side of the road. It was some stuff that people had cut down and they dumped it in a park, and it had a really nice color to it. It was a very red color, and I thought, I can bring that back and maybe play around with it a little bit. As you know, this channel is my journey into this art form, so I really don't have a whole lot of knowledge and a whole lot of experience. So I cut off a nice piece of it and put it onto my lathe with a faceplate and started working on it. I was thinking maybe I could make a box or something out of it, a little lidded box, something like that. And I worked on it for a while, and then I had to stop and do other things. Left it sitting on the lathe overnight, came back in the morning and discovered that it had sagged. Clearly the wood was not fully dry, so it drifted its way down and was completely out of round. So I had this wood that when I found it, it was originally red. I cut it, it was yellow, and then it sagged like crazy. So it's had plenty of time now to dry. I think it may be elm, just judging from the different descriptions that I've found online and stuff, just trying to figure it out. I've got it chucked back up on the faceplate, and what I'm going to do now is start trying to make it round again and see if there's anything salvageable here. I figure I can play around with this piece, and I have some more pieces of this wood that are sitting and drying. So after I figure out how I can play with this one, then I can start actually doing something nice with the others. But just part of the learning process. Okay, I'm going to go at a low speed, and I'm just going to take my roughing gouge and just try to get this down to something that's actually true. As I get closer, what I'll end up doing is taking this end off, but right now I want to keep it on there so that I can have the live center kind of give me a little bit more support. Look at that wiggle. So we're close to true. A little bit more to take off. I just want to point something out also with this. I like working with found wood. I like working with different things that I can acquire. But there are some risks in that. And just make sure if you're doing anything like this, first of all, really know what you're doing. Don't follow my lead. Follow the lead of people who know what they're doing and they're really experts. And the other thing is make sure you wear proper respiratory protection. I always wear a dust mask, not just a regular dust mask, but one that actually is designed to keep stuff out. I don't want to breathe wood that I know, much less wood that I don't know. So just be very careful with these things. Get myself on some bad angles there and getting some catches. It's fun trying to true something back up. Alright, we're down around there. I'm going to part this end off, and then I'll be able to actually work it a little bit better. starting to get the shape I want, but I'm still getting a lot of chatter. Okay, that looks pretty good. In case you can't tell, this is my section that I'm going to be using as my little box. Pretty much the right size for like rings and stuff like that. So I'm going to do a little bit of sanding and working on getting a relatively even surface. Then I'll part this off and work on getting things set up for the lid to fit properly. Okay, I've got a 220 grit sandpaper and I'm going to go at about 500 RPM. It's the slowest my lathe will go. So when you're sanding, you can get these marks rubbed in. And I had a lot of trouble with that. Then I saw a couple of videos that pointed out that if you just sand with the grain a little bit in between, you'll get rid of a lot of those marks. So that's what I'm trying to do right now. Alright, that looks really nice. Gonna go for a higher grit now. That was a 220. So I'm gonna go to a 320 sanding, or 320 sanding sponge. Alright. I'm gonna go to a much higher grit. So I've got a 500 grit on my palm sander with the oil on it, and hopefully by putting that on this way it'll help to reduce some of the marks as well as give me a nice smooth finish. Alright, that looks really nice. Pretty happy with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to part this off, work on doing my little bit of hollowing that I need to do. It's only a very little bit, and just get my lid so it's seated properly. Very nice. Now a little bit of hollowing and a little bit of shaping the end, because I'm going to want my lid to actually kind of be able to sit in a little bit. Just using my spindle gouge to kind of smooth the end. I'm going to use my bowl gouge, and the funny thing is I'm barely going to need to use it probably once I start getting in here. It should smooth things out pretty quick. A little high. My tool rest is a little high. I am not. Try and get a good idea of my depth. So just put some tape around my gouge so that I can know when I'm getting down to the right depth. You can see I'm close, about a 1/4 inch. Alright, that's real nice. Sorry I didn't show you that part. I'll show you the finished product. I need to just shape this down a little bit. I want my lid to just kind of sit in a little. So what I'm going to do is just try to take off some of this edge really carefully. I'm going to use this really small gouge. So I just want to take off little bits. That's what I was looking for. Nice smooth finish like that. The grain lines up pretty nicely. So I'm just going to sand the inside. And then we'll part it off. Just going to take this off now. And then we'll worry about putting on the final finish. Just going to use the parting tool to take this down. I'm going to use the bigger parting tool. At least to start, it'll give me a little bit more room to work with. Tool rest is shifting way too much. That is not safe. Okay, got a nice little box. Just gonna trim these bits off. A little sanding, a little finishing. Should be really nice. I'm really happy with the way this turned out. It's, as you can see, a very small box. I mean, you can see the size of my hand. It just fits right in the palm of my hand. It's real nice, but considering this was a piece that it was unknown wood, and I really handled it badly to begin with, but I gave it some time, I let it sit aside, and I end up with this really pretty little box. I really like how it turned out. Be a good thing for somebody to put a couple rings in or something like that. I actually have some friends that have a lot of knickknacks and little spots where they keep various cute little things, and I think this kind of fits the same style as what they have. So they may end up getting this as a Christmas present. Just a pretty little box. It's got a coat of linseed oil on it. I'll probably put a couple more coats on it, but I'm liking the satin finish that it has. Thank you for joining me on the Peaceful Woodturner, and I'll see you next time.